Hello student, you know that this is an induction cooker. When we place a utensil whose bottom is perfectly plain and it is made by steel on the induction cooker, and due to the flow of current electricity that this utensil gets hot. If we pour some water inside the pot, then after some time the water gets hot and starts to boil. Okay, and this induction cooker follows the Eddy's principle, and this induction cooker is run by Eddy's current. This is the inside of an induction cooker. Okay, this is the circuit board and this is the induction coil which produces the variable magnetic field when current passes through the coil, and this is the fan which cools the induction coil. Okay, and when the variable magnetic field produces, then some eddy current is produces inside the utensil or inside the steel pot. Due to the flow of eddy current, the steel pot gets hot and boils water. So today's topic is eddy current. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Bishwajit Nath. My YouTube channel is Best Physics Guide by Bishwajit Nath. Now I am going to discuss theoretically about eddy current. When we place a solid conductor inside a variable magnetic field, then some current is produces inside this solid conductor. This conductor then gets heated up or produces some heat. This current is known as eddy current. Okay, and you already watched that in the induction furnace or induction cooker, when we place a steel utensil on the furnace of the induction cooker or induction furnace, then the steel pot gets hot due to the flow of eddy current. Okay, if you put aluminum or copper, then the heat production is very negligible. Why? Because copper is good conductor of electricity and aluminum is also good conductor of electricity. That's why the production of heat inside that copper or aluminum body is very negligible. Therefore, we use steel made pots to cook on the induction furnace or induction cooker. Okay, except induction furnace or induction cooker, we use the principle of eddy current in speedometer or in deadbeat galvanometer, and this eddy current is also one of the factor or cause of loss of current electricity in transformer. So we use the laminated iron core inside in the transformer to reduce eddy current. Okay, you may write down the note about eddy current. Our next topic is the self-inductance of a solenoid. Let's watch the video. Now I'm going to discuss about the coefficient of self-inductance of a solenoid. This is a solenoid having length small l. Total number of turns is capital N. I amount of current passes through the solenoid. You know the magnetic field induced inside the solenoid at a point on the axis is B is equal to mu small n into I. Mu to small n into I, where mu is the magnetic permeability of the medium inside the solenoid. Small n is the number of turns per unit length of the solenoid, and I is the amount of current passing through each turn. Okay. Therefore, the total flux linked inside the solenoid is phi is equal to B into n capital N total number of turns into pi small a square, where small a is the radius of each circular loop, where small a is the radius of each circular loop. And now we can put the value of B, that is mu into capital N by small l, I into capital N by square. Here small n is equal to capital N by small l, number of turns per unit length. We know that coefficient of self-inductance is L is equal to phi by I, that is total magnetic flux linked with the coil divided by current. That's why we can write the coefficient of self-inductance is L is equal to mu n square pi s square by L. This is the expression of coefficient of self-inductance of a solenoid. Now I am going to find out the coefficient of mutual inductance of a solenoid, two solenoids. Okay. Here two solenoids, one is attached with a closed one is attached with a battery source or current source, and another is attached with a load RL. The first solenoid is known as primary coil and second solenoid is known as secondary coil. Okay. The total number of turns of the primary coil is N1 and the total number of turns of the secondary coil is N2. N1 be the length of the primary coil and I1 current is passes through the primary coil. Okay. Small a be the radius of each circular loop of the secondary coil. Now you know the magnetic field, induced magnetic field produced at the point on the axis of the primary coil is B1 is equal to mu n1 small n1 into I1, where small n1 is the number of turns per unit length of the primary coil. B1 is equal to mu n1 I1. Okay. Now the total magnetic flux produced inside the secondary coil is phi 2 is equal to B into N2 pi s square. You know that B is equal to, or B1 is equal to mu N1 I1. Now we can substitute the value of B1. Therefore mu N1 L1 into I1 into N2 pi s square. Okay. Therefore, coefficient of mutual inductance of two solenoids is M is equal to phi 2 by I1. This is equal to mu N1 N2 pi s square by L1. This is the expression of the mutual inductance of two solenoids well attached. Okay. Now I shall discuss about the relation between mutual inductance and self-inductance. let L1 and L2 be the coefficient of self-inductance of first and the second coil respectively. That is, the L1 is the coefficient of self-inductance of the first coil, and L2 is the coefficient of self-inductance of the second coil. Capital M be the coefficient of mutual inductance between them. Okay, therefore it can be proved that capital M is equal to K into under root of L1 L2, where K is known as coefficient of coupling. Okay, if these two coils are well attached, then we can write K is equal to 1, that is 100% coupling. Therefore M is equal to under root of L1 L2. In case of 100% coupling, the magnetic flux produced by first coil is also linked with the second coil, and the magnetic flux produced by the second coil also linked with the first coil. Okay, that's why K is equal to 1, and we can write M is equal to under root of L1 L2. This relation can be easily proved. Let's see. Proof. We know that L1 is equal to mu n1 square pi s square by L, and L2 is equal to mu n2 square pi s square by L. Here n1 is the total number of turns of the first coil, and n2 is the total number of turns of the second coil. L is the length of both coils. A is the radius of each circular loop, and for 100% coupling, that is K is equal to 1, we have root over of L1 L2 is equal to, now putting the value of L1 L2, we get mu pi s square by L into n1 L2. This is the expression of M, which is already shown in the above early discussion. That's why we can write that root over of L1 L2 is equal to capital M. This is the required result. Now we are going to find out the equivalent self-inductance of the two coils. Let L1 L2 be the two coils are connected in series in a manner that the lines of force passing through each coil in same direction. Okay, in same direction, and capital M is the coefficient of mutual inductance between the two coils. Therefore L equivalent, that is equivalent self inductance or equivalent coefficient of self inductance, is equal to L1 plus L2, L1 plus L2 plus 2M. Okay, when two coils are connected in series such that the magnetic lines of force passing through the coils are opposite to each other, that is, in this coil the magnetic lines of force passing through from left to right, right to left, and in this coil the magnetic lines of force passing through left to right. That's why the direction of magnetic lines of force are opposite to each other. In this case, the coefficient of equivalent coefficient of mutual inductance L equivalent is equal to L1 plus L2 minus 2M. L equivalent is equal to L1 plus L2 minus 2M, while M is the coefficient of mutual inductance between the two coils. When two coils are connected in parallel combination such that the lines of force through each coil are same in direction, that is the direction of magnetic field, induced magnetic field in same way. Therefore the equivalent coefficient of equivalent self-inductance L equivalent is equal to L1 L2 minus M square by L1 plus L2 plus M. If two coils are connected in parallel combination such that the magnetic lines of force passing through two coils are opposite to each other. In this coil, the magnetic lines are passing through in upward direction, and in this coil, the magnetic lines of force passing through downward direction. That's why L equivalent, that is equivalent self inductance, L equivalent is equal to L1 L2 minus M square by L1 plus L2 minus 2M. Now I shall discuss about the energy stored inside an inductor. We know that induced EMF epsilon is equal to mod of minus L di dt. Here we consider only magnitude of the induced EMF. That's why we can write epsilon is equal to L di dt. Now power P is equal to epsilon into I is equal to L I di dt. Therefore, energy stored inside the inductor is E is equal to integration 0 to t p dt. Okay. Now substituting the value of P, we have E is equal to L integration of 0 to I di. Okay, that is integration of I with respect to di. Therefore, energy stored in the inductor E is equal to half L I square. Okay, now I am complete to, or I am going to finish my discussion for today. I think you enjoy this video, and please like my video, and I shall meet you again by the topic AC or alternating current. Okay, thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day.